purists do and say, oh, you used the Sennheiser, or you used the Neumann, or you used this, and they're not going to hear that. They're just going to know if it sounds good or if it sounds bad. No, not on the, when I say all of them, I'm talking about different name brands instead of all the models. I haven't gone through all the models, but just in my lifetime, I've experienced different type of microphones, and I've A and B'd them. Some of the new series of Marshalls, the new Silver series, I haven't played around with them. They look a little interesting. But you got to hear the microphone, run some audio through it, and see what you like. See how it sounds, in your application. Regardless of the price and the model number, you may hear something that sounds just as good as this microphone over here. It sounds just as good as that one in comparison. Or you might hear something that has a night and day difference where it's like, you know what, I really like this one. Well, maybe that's the one you ought to go with and bite the bullet and pay for it. Some people don't want to spend $200 or $300 on a good microphone. They would rather spend $89 if that, and they already whining about that for a cheap microphone element. You see what I'm saying? So it's all in how you want your station to sound.
I know what you're saying about kind of biting the bullet and paying the cost, and it kind of pays off in the long run.
Now, if you listen to your audio reproduction, you hear it, you hear that low frequency that's in there that makes it go when you talk. Now, that can be taken out with EQ, but in my opinion, it's just a little bit too bassy. Now, I told you one time that you sounded like Prime Minister. Hold on just a second.
Next time you key, I'm going to take a picture of this. Oh, let me get my camera ready, Cat Biggie. I'll put it on video there. I'll send this Cat Biggie to you, show you what you're doing out here, Cat Biggie. Hello, Mr. DBI, Prime Minister right back.
You heard that? Well, like I said before, the intelligibility aspect of things is that you gotta look at. A lot of guys want to have a heavy sounding radio, very bassy. They got light voices, but there's a balance that you must achieve in order for you to be able to cut the mustard in a high heterodyne environment. Having a lot of bass in your radio is going to hurt you than help you. The time that it helps you is when you're in conditions like this, where you don't have a lot of competition out there, and your signal-to-noise ratio is pretty good. Like right now, like I said, you remind me of Prime Minister. He's a bass-heavy station. I would tell him the very same thing. I would like to get a chance to meet him one day. I know who he is, but I would like to talk to him about this stuff. But, he's going to run things the way that he sees fit. And everybody's going to do that. I'm just telling you how it sounds on both transmit and receive end because I've played around with these frequencies. That's why I keep mine a little bit on the hot side when it comes to the high frequencies and the mid-range, because I want that sizzle to be heard. I don't want it to be where you don't have the high frequencies in there. Let's see. Go right here. Save that. Let's see. 2. I'm going to change something as we speak. That changed everything. You hear how the audio characteristics has changed just like that? All right, so now let me bring up a filter. I'm going to bring up a 16,000. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, If you hear the low frequencies disappear, that's bringing that 16,000 right into the equation. All right, now I'm going to go into the bypass mode just by flipping the switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So when it engages, you can hear the low frequencies. You know, I mean the high frequencies are not coming through the transmitter. Now, what I'm also going to do is I'm going to add a low frequency filter in there. I'm going to add a 100 hertz. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. All right, we got a 100 in there. Now I'm going to go to the bypass right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's bypass. This is where the 16,000 roll down, and with about a 11 dB boost on the 100 by pushing the button. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. I can hear that rumble in there. It's not coming through the transmitter because I got one other filter in line to make sure that my low frequencies are always in check. But now I'm going to add 5 kc. 5, 1, 2, 3. You can hear the high frequencies start to come up into the equation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But when I pull that 5,000 down, you can hear the lows come, it's more prominent. And the high frequencies are still rolled down. 5,000 in my voice, you can hear the intelligibility start to come in there a little bit better. Now, what I'm going to do is add one more filter in here. 5,000. Let me go with a 10,000. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you can hear more high frequency content in there with the extra 10,000 hertz boosted by 10 dB. Now I'm going to hit the bypass right here. The tonality is totally changed. It sounds a little bit flat, but it sounds more on the high end. You hear a lot of distortion and sibilance. But when I push the button in here, now you hear a lot of highs. They disappear on the real high end, but you can see more intelligibility in the EQ with that extra 10 kc added. Now, when I pull that 10 kc down and I go where it's flat, you can hear the highs disappear. Now, if I go lower than that, like I'm loosening it up by 15 dB, 10 kcs, that's kind of how you're sounding to a certain degree. When you don't have that high frequency content in your audio, it's more bassy. I would definitely like to tell you that, but I have to tell you offline. Now, because it's programmable, I'm going to go ahead and go back to where I had it before. I think I had it on number 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now you hear how the audio, this is how I was sounding. Was it on number? No, it wasn't that one. It was number 2, wasn't it? Number 2. Yeah, it was on number 2. This is where I had it set before. Because I had different memories programmed into it, I'm just turning the memory button so you can hear an idea of what the EQ will sound like when you go through the different, the different numbers. Now, 2 and 3, there's a difference. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's 3. It's just a memory button. Now, number 2 is before. You can hear the audio goes through its changes as I'm speaking. Now we're going to go to bypass, so you can have an idea of what it sounds like there. So there's a big difference between having it bypassed and then have the EQ in it because you can hear the audio change. Like I said, it's just a relative EQ setting. There's nothing that is etched in stone. It's whatever I feel like at any given point in time. And because it has memories, the memories will stay when you turn the equipment off, turn it back on, and you can always rewrite it at any given point in time. If you want to save it, well, you can save it as in its internal memory, or there's a computer program where you can download that information on your computer, and you can always load it back up, provided that your computer don't fail. Roger, hold on, just another station calling me. Who was that calling Bassmaster, go? Yeah, I hear you out there in West Virginia. Your signal is up and down right now. It's a little bit rough, but try it again. Yeah, how you doing, Viper, man? Haven't heard you since last year. Yeah, man, I'm doing all right. I'm just doing a little bit of talking about audio down here with another station. We do that from time to time to get away from the, the contesting and the Watergate and all of that type of stuff. Every now and then you find somebody who's into some of the stuff that you're into, and doing it on some of the other frequencies is just not conducive. So I get down here one of these side freaks and just have at it. Sounds pretty good.
You sound half as good as yours. I'd be happy, Ross.
Yeah. Stand by. I'm using the V67 Marshall MXL V67. We've used that with the 101Es, the 101Bs, but we also have we use it with the EQ feeding the radio. So that's what we use to give us what we want. One thing about the 101s, they have a tendency to be a little bass heavy on certain frequencies. So you got to watch it when you're setting up your EQ so it doesn't produce too low of a frequency, because then it'll start to rumble. So the 101s, they can be a little finicky depending on how you have it set up, whether you're going through the phone patch jack or you're going through the microphone jack. I've seen people feed them both ways. Me, personally, I like the phone patch jack. Anyway, I'm going to get on out of here, Viper. I got to take a quick step out. The other station that I was talking to, I'm going to get in there, and I got some things I need to take care of. So you guys hold on just a minute. I'm going to have to step away from the microphone for a second, but I'll be right back. All right, Viper.
See you, brother. Sounding good out here like you always do, Viper. Steady. Good evening to you.
All right, 7-3. Let me step off this radio for a second. I'll be back in just a couple of minutes, maybe less than a couple of minutes. Hopefully everything's going to work out for what I got to do. I got to do something real quick. I'll be right back.
Audio.
have you gotten back yet? No, have you gotten back? I'm here. Mr. Wideband Audio, what's your handle again? I forgot. All right, Mr. Kenwood 2000, have you gotten back on the frequency? Yeah, Roger D. I'm going to give you a serial number. You got a pen? All right, it's 8525 793459. That's the model number. The model number to this EQ. Roger D. Well, I'm going to explain something about it. What it is used for and the way I use it is a little different. You got 12 bands of EQ that you can play around with. You got, let me see what this number is. Hold on a second. Yeah, I'm going to have to go into bypass mode. You got plus 16 dB of gain, and then you can cut it. You can hear the sound change. That's 48 dB of cut. That's just one filter that I got on this thing. You can hear the audio change with that one filter. Now that one filter that I'm just using this so I can see what the gain was. That was 500 hertz. All right. Now to show you what it'll do, let's see. Do I have it on 500? Okay, I got it on 1,000. 1,000 right there. That's 10 dB of 1,000. You can stretch it out where you can get a wide filter, or you can have it a little bit on the thin side. If you can hear that ringing. Can you hear that frequency when I speak? You hear that? It almost sounds like a little feedback. You hear that? That's because the filter is small. Now, I can also drop it down by 48 dB. So that 1,000, you can just notch it out. You can make it wider. When you make it wider, you can barely hear me. But anyway, you can do that with all the EQ spectrum from 20 to 20,000. From 20 to 20,000 hertz. But the thing is to get the different frequencies to sound good the way your voice sounds. I can come up with an EQ just by hitting different numbers. I know where my voice sits in the filter, in the frequency range, you know, just from years of experience. I can tell you before it's done what's it going to do, because I already know. But it always changes when I'm trying to set it up for somebody else. When I'm setting up the EQ for another person, I don't use I listen to how their voice sounds, and then I'll judge from there. Sorry about that. You still there?